Okay. Think we might be alright. Hopefully it just connects to everything because I've been having a little technical difficulty trying to get this set up for the last half fucking hour. Things just don't always agree with me. There we go. It's a good sign, right? It's always a good sign. I don't even know what fucking missions I have here. Okay, 3, 1, 1, and shitty. Okay. All shitty. Ranked. Fuck my life. They just want me to play dragon, don't they? Fuck it. Actually, I've got a pact open here. I might do that. I think I have a packet open. Standard, yeah, there we go. Alrighty. 1 gold. Depressing. Let's liquefy extras. And now I'm gonna play dragon so I can try and finish the fucking pain in the ass questline things that I've got. So we'll try and finish that, get that done. Gonna take it a little chill today. Why not?
This one's for my family.
I guess you're looking for a fight.
Alrighty. Baha. Sup, what's up? General. There we go. Fix that. Ooh. Still drawing nothing, guys. What a shitty hand.
My name is Lou. It's short for Lou.
Okay. Now, very tempted just to ramp it. We might actually just play the Grimnir. You shooting for a high master score? No. I'm not bothered to shoot for a high master score. Maybe next month we might try something. Depending on how we feel. Rahab maybe might be alright. Save the Dragon Oracle until we can combat with something.
I'm going home.
No sympathy for you. Oh, Fire Spartan. You make that seem so ambiguous.
You're done for.
I only hooked you up with the hentai stuff that you wanted. I was just the middleman.
Can you stop the wind?
Alright, we can get that. Not too bad at all.
I'm just a mage who's as old as dirt.
It won't be long now.
Rate my beard. I give you a 6 out of 10. Actually, I need to shave mine. I was going to do it this morning, but got distracted, and then I've had technical difficulties trying to get this set up, and then I was just like, I can't be bothered. I'll probably do it after I finish up the stream while I'm working on other stuff. Let's see. We can ramp, or we can just probably save it. 6 out of 10 feels bad. That's better than half, isn't it? That's not bad. Yeah, I think I have to ramp. Ramp into a curve so I can hopefully drop Oro. We're dropping a little frames here and there at the moment. It's just not feeling great. Okay. 6 out of 10 is bad. 60% isn't bad. Better than 50%. I mean, have you seen Doggo's beard? No, that's like an 8 out of 10. For IGN standard. IGN is a terrible standard to begin with, so I wouldn't put any faith in those crooks right there. And drop Oro. Probably die anyway, so we may as well just do it. Dropping Lucifer's not gonna make a big difference. At least this way, if Oro dies, then I should be right either way. And otherwise I can just Yerd and double it. Looks like I'm going to grow it out for Senpai. Oh, super long beard. Ah, fuck's sake. Hopefully we don't have too many issues. The internet really is not playing along right now. Fuck's enemy. Oh dear. Let's fix this. Alright. I want to deal with this, but I'm dead. And we're dropping frames occasionally, which I don't like. I may have to refresh the stream, try and fix the internet a little bit. It's gonna suck. It's only if it plays up anymore. Oh, it's just, today isn't my day, guys. You know? I'll go streaming, and I would have loved to have sat and watched that, but I gotta get something out for you guys, and it's like, oh. The life of difficulty. Make my little remote. I have a little remote. I don't know what the little remote was for. It's for like the HDMI switcher box, but I don't think it works. I think the battery died. Oh, now the battery fell out. I'll play as a wizard someday. A 40-year-old wizard. We all know how that goes. I heard something ding that was further away than what I... Over there. Aha! Discoveries. A bad hand though. Feels so bad. Alrighty, let's see what we can do. We've got the salamander, which is quite nice. Don't mind that. Let's just throw that at something when we can. We'll just throw this flaming little bloody firecracker at him. No, we'll just throw that. Screw it. We can drop Rahab, then we can drop Furfur. Or whatever, I don't care. Pronunciation is not my strong suit. And I'm dropping stuff. And now let's fill out again. Okay. You're the mad cyclone? Jeez, Grimnir, you should calm down, bro. All that chicken going to your head. Alrighty. May as well ramp. Try and ramp into something. This stage, it looks like I may just go into the Rahab Grimnir. Set up a defense. Actually, that's not too.
I can't keep relying on you, Dragon.
Be gone.
Not too bad.
As long as we've got each
Still apologize for streams fucking up. If it's fucking up too bad, guys, just give me a heads up. I may have to try and fix it, which would be an absolute pain, but just things don't always work out the way I want them to.
let them rest in peace.
Lend me your power, Golden Step.
Rest with the others.
Alrighty. Now I gotta kill that fucking thing. Great. Can't be damaged. Oh, fuck you. Get rid of it then. Can't be damaged, just get rid of it. I might do it. Darkhill would be nice. I'd combo that with Lucifer Zeal. For a good amount of damage and heal. And of course, you know, Seraph. The one time I get rid of my banishment. Thinking, you know, I'm doing the right thing, getting rid of that crappy banishment. I may just actually play the Lucifer here. And it's still playing up a bit. Like flashing red and yellow, and then green. Such is life. I mean, it looks pretty right on there, but whether it's lagging at all might be an issue. Okay. Well, that's a problem.
You're a solid fighter.
Oh, it doesn't look like we're gonna have too much luck with this. So we might just go play Arena instead. I mean, why not? Got the tickets. I want to take today to be pretty chillaxed. I don't have to worry. We'll take Sword. Alright, now first pick. Wayne, Leonidas, Exaler, Rose Creed. I think we'll take those two. Monica and Luminous fit with the Commander style. Another Luminous plus Luminous Standard is nice. Alrighty, I'll take those. Trying to think on what I can do here. Let's go way more Valley. I want to try and fill out my curve a little bit. Enhance has priority. Another Luminous. Might take Humpty because he's not a bad board clear if I have to use him that way. With the Luminous Mages, we do get the extra clears, which is nice. Commander allies in play. Christian's not bad. Plus the Enhance effect is good. Alright, now here comes the tricky one. Do I take the Alexander along with the Captain? Which isn't too bad, honestly. All allied officer followers can't be damaged or destroyed by spells effects until follows the area. Or we go with the White Paladin, which also a commander, which isn't too bad, but the support cannon does give us a bonus as well. Oh, the spider one. To decide whether I just pick the couple of golds that are nice, or whether I take the alright gold and the really good legend. Support cannon blows. I guess. I'm running a fair few commanders overall though. I guess we'll take the Alexander. What a cute little Tidal Blaze. I know! I thought it was cute. Everyone can just come and chill out. Just relax. Put your feet up. Watch the stream lag because it dropped frames. Oh. fucking pain in the ass thing. The only thing I'm worried about is if I get up against a more aggro-oriented deck, might have trouble keeping up in the early game. That's why I wanted to aim to hopefully take a little smaller set. Streamlight Glow, yeah. I'm not having great luck with the internet thing. I may have to refresh it after this game, which will just require closing the stream down, disconnecting, reconnecting, sort of thing. Hopefully that occasionally fixes it. Doritos or Ruffles? I don't know what Ruffles are, so go with the Doritos. I think we'll just play both Navals then. I could have played the Blitz Lancer, but I think I'll save that in case I need to trade. Plus, we have got Vanguard, so if this does get procced, we can just Vanguard into it. But it looks like I'm going to get the value out of the Vanguard either way, so we'll hold Gwaine for a sec. Probably should have dropped it on 4, so then the Luminous would have got dropped, but I think if I can combo with one more other decent commander, it might be right. Guess that's gonna have to do. I want to try and combo with a better commander than just Luminous and Advent. It would have been nice to get something better. Plus, the Enhanced 6 is really good, so that would have been nice to get, but I prioritize getting it out the next turn. Which looks like it's worked out okay. I mean, double Catacomb isn't the worst thing to deal with.
Dance, dear bones of white.
I'll take these two. I didn't have a help command. Why would I need a help command? Alright, that's okay, I guess. Why is Night not why is Nightbot verified but not me? What do you mean verified?
At least it was at sea.
He should be. Olivia in hand? Oh, I'm not worried about that. Not really caring about the Evo points, honestly. I was more concerned with getting a better commander drop.
Don't call me short. Eat this. Wouldn't.
Probably should have used this differently, honestly.
I'll show you a
To the underworld.
Really? Yeah. I don't know. I just made Nightbot mod whatever so that he could do what he needed to do. But I've got Luminous Mage, so Dark Angel isn't the biggest deal to me. Would have been nice if I could play that with the Luminous.
Show me your soul up close.
That's annoying as fuck. What happens when you ban Nightbot? I have no clue. Probably nothing. X equals the amount of followers on board. At most I could maybe push that to 3. On this board. And then just use the moniker to get rid of the 4-5 Thane. Then I'm left with dealing with the 6-7, which is kind of difficult. I don't really see any other decent option here.
I'm hungry. Bravo, Admiral Monica, report
This way I do get to clear both. The only thing I'm going to have to worry about is the 6-7. Which I should honestly be able to clear with Olivia by the next turn. If I'd want to. That, or maybe even just use mage and weapon.
It's you I want.
Mage boosts to... What's that? Any ally? Okay, yep, cool. Actually, Luminous plus the moniker. Since Monica's commander, I get its effect. Really nice. Get rid of that one.
You and I, knight. My sword brings home. Admiral Monica, reporting for
At
duty.
your service.
Alright. I actually should have done that differently. I should have used the Owlcat. I didn't account for the damage, so that's kind of my mistake. Trading the 2-1 would have been better than trading the 1-1, then I would have been left with an extra 1-1 on board. God, that'd be nice. I'll play Olivia. Mainly concerned with getting rid of that without losing everything. I think leaving the mage up at least will give us a huge advantage. The only real threat is something like Death's Breath, I guess. Maybe Etika. Actually, Etika could be a real problem. Wow. A pain in the ass.
I must not perish. I go where the wind takes me.
It all ends here.
Free evolve. Why not?
Paladins, suffer by my blade.
I mean, either way, I should be fine.
Light.
Time to settle down.
Actually, I should have just hit face, and I probably shouldn't have played the Vagabond and just used Forged Weapon to go for game. That was a really, really bad play on my part.
For you.
And I should actually be alright with that.
I must not perish.
That gets resummoned. Then I have to use that.
Lose again.
2-2 on the Vagabond, boosts it to 3 quite easily. And the evolve is well and truly plenty of damage no matter how you look at it.
You are done for.
I didn't say I was going to be making good plays today, that's for sure.
Find myself out on the road, nice and easy.
Too strong.
But we're making some plays.
The pleasure was all mine.
Alrighty. That's something, I guess. Oops. Just wondering whether the stream's alright or not. Whether I should actually restart it, which I think we might. So we'll just be like a couple minutes while I hopefully restart the stream. Alright, so we've restarted the stream. So when the videos come out, I'll probably just merge them together, so it shouldn't be an issue. But I'm really hoping this doesn't play up anymore, but it looks like it's going to, so I don't know what option I've really got. I don't know, maybe it's going to come right. Not feeling too great about how this is running today. Don't know what's going on with it, honestly. Like, it looks like it's come right. If it stays where it is now, I should be okay with this stream. Otherwise, I'm going to be in some trouble with it, and it's going to be annoying.
You must die.
This one's for
Okay. Drop that. Battle Fury, we'll just hold on it. Okay, I think maybe we're steady for now. If it plays up much more, we might just have to run a really quite short stream. We'll probably just finish up this or something. We'll have to wait and see. It might just not be a good day to stream today. Some days the junction might just get flooded with stuff. Plus, most people are on school holidays right now in Australia. For what was Easter break, I guess. That should be wrapping up this week. Why you have Unbridled Fury? Because Unbridled Fury. I have it because it was in the bloody choices, and that's what I chose. Are you gonna pick on my Unbridled Fury? Like, I'll go ham on your ass. And the stream is still playing up a little bit, so I apologize with all I can. I'm just working with what I got right now. What I got right now isn't great, so let's deal with what we can. Like, I can use this ambush here, but it doesn't make, does it?
Our fine man's nice and easy. Time to settle down.
Oh dear. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I mean, it kind of sucks, but I'm probably going to be able to draw away their attack with these Luminous. Really quite good.
It won't be long now. Shining Paladins, attack! Suffer by my blade.
I was mighty but too proud.
Plus, because of the extra stat gain, that actually works out okay. Actually could have traded into that, which might have been nicer. Well, actually, definitely would have been nicer. I just forgot about the stat gain. I wasn't paying any attention. I was trying to monitor the stream to make sure it was all running fine.
My flames lead to heaven. Take up the shield.
Right, this actually is going to work. Really good.
My sword brings hope. Back to the skies. It all ends here.
We get a full board trade. We get another 4 damage.
Suffer by my blade.
I wish that was a commander and worked with it. That'd be nice, but it's got to be a follower. So, I mean, Luminous Mage will work if I can pull it off. Either way, Vagabond's going to do a lot of work. I'm really glad I chose Vagabond Frog. Not an easy card to deal with. Surely they're going to have to choose the Evolve here. Well, maybe not. They might go, yep, just the Dragoon Scyther. Fair enough. We may just play Naval Guard then, instead. We don't draw into anything else. Oh no, here we go. All our officers' followers can't be damaged or targeted. Yes. Sounds good to me.
I must not perish.
You are done for.
Give it a quick evolve. Use it as a beat stick.
Nice and easy.
And my Vagabond is now protected as long as that's on the board, which is nice.
Time to say goodbye.
Alright, so that's just going to summon another one. That was kind of pointless, honestly.
There's no one
There we go. What a solid game.
It was all mine.
Now, that's exactly what I needed. Couple of good games. Now watch me lose the next 3 games because I am absolute shit at playing Arena and I get extremely unlucky and misplay really badly on stream. That's nothing surprising. We actually might be playing a new game soon. I'm thinking of maybe doing like a dual stream and streaming with Doggo and running Duelist where we just have him in chat and we can just chat around.
You must die.
Because Duelist I've been enjoying a little bit. While I work on other content as well for you guys. I'm actually thinking of maybe including some Duelist content, so maybe that might be what goes up tomorrow. Can I join the chat level? Maybe. I might have an open chat. I haven't decided yet. The start of the stream may end up being a private chat, and then we might open it up and pull some people in. On the Discord. Like, we haven't talked about it much. We just mentioned it briefly in passing. So, whether it happens or not, I haven't really decided yet, but that's what we're looking to do. Might just hold this. I mean, we can drop Gwen next turn, trade. The amount of boosts I'm going to get off that is going to be insane. I mean, mod, come on, man. Yeah, no, it's definitely, like I said, it won't be a problem. It's just to start with, we might start with Doggo and me, and then we might introduce people as we go. Just to kind of get the feel for it first, because it's something I've never done. It's something Doggo's done a little bit, I think, hanging out on other streams and stuff. And I've done a little bit with Jay, but not myself. So it's just something I'd have to try and sort out, that's all. Oh dear. Alrighty. Wish this was a clash effect. Imagine how good this would be as a clash. Might actually be useful for once. But let's see, they may use the Owlcat, evolve, trade, and then ram the 3-3 that way.
Focus on your Inferno team.
Or they'll evolve this, okay. Deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, deal 5 damage instead if it's a neutral follower. So if they evolve, deal 2 to it, then use the Owlcat, they get to keep the 4-5, they get a 3-3, and they get to deal 3 damage to me. That's going to be a real difficult thing for me to deal with now. And Humpty's just out of range of what I need.
It won't be long now.
That'll work though. Not quite how I would have liked to have done it, but what works, works, I guess. We have got Olivia, so I'm not worried about that.
Orthrus has arrived.
Others will follow.
Okay. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Seriously? Didn't deal with that? Got the Luminous, which won't trade, unfortunately. Might just have to play a Blitz Lancer.
It all ends
Really not how I wanted to do this.
Fortress demolition. Lucius, I'm sorry.
Might just get that out. I mean, with the Dark Angel Olivia, we do probably have openings for these plays later, but GMech always seems to work. Yeah, GMech works like flat out, especially this time of day. It used to be good before daylight saving stuff all changed over, because he usually had like an hour before work that he'd just hang out in the chat. He's a busy man though.
What are you hiding inside?
Great, of course they'd have to get Catacomb like that, so now I've got to find a way to deal with every fucking thing. I mean, if they evolve and hit me in the face here, I could be in real trouble though. I don't think I can counter it. This is where I probably should have kept Humpty as a viable option, but I think the Luminous may just be enough. It's alright. Everyone's busy. My other mod hasn't been here for 2 months. Mostly due to school stuff and time, because of the way timing just falls, unfortunately.
But I was just warming up.
I think we have Luminous
You and I, knight. My sword brings hope.
plus a trade with that, maybe. Maybe even Test of Strength, just so they have to trade here.
Done for.
Maybe worth it.
Suffer by my blade.
I'm the only one who's left. Yeah, pretty much, man. You're the only one who turns up regularly now. GMX's still great, and he's a great moderator. It's just he doesn't get to turn up much, which is understandable because everyone has a life, so it makes sense. I'll probably take on more mods in the future. It's just a matter of deciding who and how, because I'm very picky when it comes to mods. I don't want to just hand it out everywhere. I'll only pick people that I can pretty much trust and who are here most regularly. And at the time, GMX and stuff were my most regular people. Oh no! You know, honestly, they probably would have been better hitting the Luminous than just hitting my face anyway. Well, I'm fucked.
You and I, knight. My sword brings hope. Don't call me short. It won't be long now. Shining paladins, attack! Suffer by my blade.
Yeah, I'm dead. Because even if I kill that, I take 3 from the board. I wish I had Humpty Dumpty available. I should have probably held off on that evolve. I wasn't too worried about it because of Olivia, but I didn't make it that far, unfortunately. That's kind of shitty. But I did say, look at me lose the next fucking 3 games because I'm useless. Humpty was your only move? Yeah. Honestly, since you can't evolve Humpty with Lumina, it wasn't going to work, because Lumina only works on commanders and Humpty's a neutral, so that's not going to get me anywhere. So that kind of combination wouldn't work, and I had no evolve, so I would have had to have tried to wait it out. You like lasagna? I don't. I don't mind it in very small amounts. I find it very overpowering in a lot of cases. I don't like large amounts of it. I'll have like a really small portion if I ever have any, which is rare. Okay. What's the time? Alright, I like the Vagabond. Means I can probably play that on 3. Get that on curve. Probably my favorite thing is getting that on curve every time.
Don't call me short.
Just trying to think of my future plays. So probably 3, 4. Drops the Leonidas by 1. If I can hopefully draw into something else would be really nice, but I don't put much faith in that. Might actually leave the Thief up because they're not going to do anything to me. They're going to deal like 2 damage, I'm not too worried about that. So, Gwen will boost Leo. Chance of Death turn 5. Hopefully Lino turn 6. And that's nice. Getting both of those boosted.
You are done for.
On this blade I've nice and easy.
Good. Me?
Time to settle down.
I'm gonna keep. I just want to keep this for a little bit. Might not be the best move because I mean, Cyclone Blade could be an issue. But if I can hold off on just one more turn on that, maybe I can draw into a Luminous and get a good advantage off it. Alright, nope. So that completely backfired on me. Great. At least the one bonus is that I can drop nothing, I guess. I'm just going to pass the turn. I could have played Geno. I could have played the Naval. I really would like to save those and get their enhancers. And since they don't have a board either, I'm not too worried. And yeah, he didn't take the draw. I would have. Personally, yeah. I would have took the draw as well. Humpty just seems like such a much better play. But maybe it's not the better play. I mean, we get Alexander next turn. It's huge. That's pretty much a guaranteed board clear, so maybe saving off the Humpty and just waiting is better. Yep, looks like I made the right choice.
It won't be long now. Hit him full force.
Now I've just got to decide whether I drop the Humpty here. You have Olivia. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, Olivia's not that big a deal to me. I don't want to clear the board with that, that's all. I've still got 2 turns till Olivia, and last time I spammed Evolves, I got completely dominated. I think I'm better off taking it a little bit slower. And that's going to come in really handy. Because next turn, it means I can use the Evolve on either Alexander or Leonidas and play it that way. Olivia's not going to be active until fucking 9, which by that point, if I had have risked it and done it too early, I could have been dead.
Try to evade my ninjutsu. Try to evade my ninjutsu.
After me, soldiers!
It all ends here.
Try to break.
Alright, leave that up. Get him to deal with it that way. Then we can drop Olivia next turn for 9, and then that will replenish everything. Now they got to decide, do they just go face? Do they deal with this 10? Thinking actually nearly just dropping the ward depending on the play. Depends on my health, I guess. If they hit just face, I may be okay because I should be out of range of stuff like Albert even. Isn't a big problem. I mean, Albert +1, that's 12, oh, sorry, that's 8 damage, so... If they do deal 6, I'm going to have to probably defend myself. 0 points on 9. Yeah, which is exactly what I just did. I used the last one on 8. Set up for 9. That was the idea. The only problem now is I've got to deal with this fucking board. The best way to fucking do it is shitty. Alright, we'll do that way.
Let's call it a night. Let's call it a night.
But not last time. No, last time I made a big fuck up in the end. I should have held the Evolve where I should have. Like I said, that was the problem.
Tempest shall judge you.
You wouldn't.
One more scar for the collection.
Just trying to think on whether I should play this the way I want to play it or whether I should play it in a different order.
None will dishonor the seas.
I was thinking of that, doing it that way. But I think the 10 damage, well, 12 damage is probably going to be more valuable overall. Because they're going to have to kill Leonidas anyway.
I'm on my way, princess.
This basically lets me trade however I want. Olivia... Plus that, 2 plus trade there anyway, because the evolve is fine.
New world is our desire. You're mine. Princess, you are done for.
Tone Olivia. If I don't fucking Olivia, I get screwed, so... This is my most viable option. You won't be able to spend the points anyway, why not? Easily spend the points in this order. If they find a way around the board, then I just get to play out Goblin Princess. I get the advantage with the bunch of gain. If I draw into... If I play it the other way, I kill him next turn. I kill him next turn anyway. I had plenty of setup. With Test of Strength, I just need to make sure I had at least 2 things on board to avoid being destroyed by an Albert. Because what would have killed me anyway. If they had have had a Cyclone Blade, it would have destroyed the board and killed me regardless.
You must die. Mother, father, come on.
Drop them all. Go for something else. Not the best. We are going second though, so the Gwen's actually not that bad. We've already guaranteed a double boost. So we just got to hold out till 4. We should be able to swing the game back then. As long as they don't have something insane.
None will dishonor the seas.
Stop them from hopefully playing anything too crazy.
At least it was at sea.
Alright. At least that wasted their turn, so that's not too bad. Alright, and that should actually just survive. Oh. With the triple boost.
You are done for.
And hopefully Goblin Princess on 5. I really like the idea of Earth Shock on 8 with the evolve. Alright, so no doubt they'll evolve and trade. I'm just thinking on how I want to deal with this. Do I hold on to the goblins and wait? Do I play Monica, clear the 2 and the 1, leave them with a 1-1? Maybe the better play, in case they catacomb. That way, I can hopefully get Leonidas out and then play Goblin.
At your service.
It won't be long now.
Plus, Monica does have a nice body. So it should be enough defensive power. And now I lower the value of Catacomb by a shit ton. And probably just drop Luminous next turn along with something else maybe, if I can find something.
You wouldn't.
Here it comes. Sword sweep. Ah!
Want to play?
Whew. Dealing with all the crap here. What fun.
Should have focused.
She doesn't have, she's flat as a wall. Flat is justice, my sir. I don't want to waste that, so we're going to hold on to it. Probably could have just called it, but better off just using that. Try and get Servant if I can.
What are you hiding inside?
Now they finally play Catacomb. Great. And they play it when I'm one turn out from what I want. Okay.
Weapon at the ready, youngling. Straight through ya. At your service.
As long as I don't have a second Catacomb, I'm not in too much trouble here. I mean, turn 8, I can probably just drop a Leonidas.
You gonna mess with me?
Trying to think of the worst situation here, and it'd probably be Etika.
Do you know the eternal void?
Otherwise, I may just drop this Leo and trade. I mean, they kill the Leo, I just play out Golden Princess and get a huge value off it.
The void will be there for me.
Because I can drop Goblin, I can drop Advent along with it if I want. Ektar GG. Yeah, I know, that's what I thought. Ektar's gonna be my biggest problem, but this should hopefully deal with it pretty well. Between Call of Coyotes and Golden Princess, and then probably killing Leonidas, I would be pretty fine.
You wouldn't.
Just a pity they didn't kill it. If this does die, a 13-13 rush is actually not too bad. For 5, plus a bunch of other, well actually it'll be a 16-16, won't it, because of Leonidas.
You wouldn't.
And that heal really isn't going to be that beneficial to them. That's actually really nice.
I'm taking you with me.
Today we battle.
He's feeling hungry. Rest in a prison of ice.
Ready? Here goes.
I gotta tell you, I like. Give me that. I'll live again.
Oh dear. Ektar will mostly clear up the board, probably. He's played. But other than that, I should be right.
I await you in Cocytus.
Yep. That still leaves me with a shit ton of damage.
Seem to be working.
Well, no point holding on to this anymore.
Our desire.
No, the will save him now? Nah, I don't reckon. He could have at least cleared the board up a lot, but I don't reckon he'd have much chance. And yeah, Baja would probably be what he needs.
I'm leaving.
There we go. So 4-1, that's not bad. I'm quite happy with that.
The pleasure was all mine.
We should get a nice chunk of gold. Damn it, 20 vials. I much would have preferred extra gold, honestly. Haven't got long and I'm going to start saving gold again, so we'll make the most of this and buy a couple packs. And we'll buy the standard one while we get it. Ticket. Oh, and I clicked on the fucking thingy there. Come on. There we go. Road to rank 1 series. Wow, that would be great, wouldn't it? Not that good though, unfortunately. I don't have the time or the dedication to bother doing it. I'd much rather just play fun things and have a good time, honestly, and relax. I really want to start incorporating some more games and some more content, different styled stuff. Bruno hasn't. You should check out Shadow Nexus' stuff. I've been helping with their channel with stuff. Not videos themselves, but the actual thumbnails and all that sort of thing. Definitely worth taking a look if you guys want something different. They do a lot more of like podcasty style stuff where they review different things, the meta, they talk about how the tournament scene's going, all that sort of thing. It's definitely worth checking out. Fucking select cards. I like that they added the option, I don't like where it is. I'd much rather if it was a smaller button below it. Instead of right next to it. Okay. Let's see if I can have a little bit of success with this now. I'm not aiming to fucking win. I am aiming to win. I'm not aiming to fucking rank with Dragon. I'm aiming to literally just bloody complete these missions that I've got. Because they can all be completed by using just Dragon if I wanted. So it's more efficient to usually just play the one class that will finish all your missions.
This one's for my family.
I guess you're looking for a fight.
But my Dragon deck is far from perfect. It's actually really flawed and would need lots of improvement. Okay. Not a good hand.
Sky's my destination.
Play Zeal to put something on the board. Dragon decks have a lot of variation. That is true, they do. Mine's just fucking terrible. Storm and Ramp being the most common, and mine's kind of a hybrid. Well, I suppose Storm is kind of a hybrid between just standard Storm cards and Ramp anyway, but mine runs some weird combo. Mainly because I'm missing a lot of Ramp. I'm missing 2 Sybils, which make a huge difference to your Ramp total. Fucking sake, really? Symmetrical card draw? I like the Ouroboros without Sickle. Yeah. Ouroboros can work well and truly without it, that's for sure.
You're done for.
It's just like back in the old days.
Yeah. Not a bad way to do it. I feel like I don't have many options here.
Be gone.
I should just rebuild this and focus more on the Storm aspect than the Ramp aspect. Ivan Cavalier, yeah, it's something I definitely want to consider doing. I think I should just revamp this deck in a minute. It definitely needs some work done.
Atone with your lifeblood.
Done.
I can't keep relying on you, Dragon.
It's like to see the game went into maintenance, only to be disappointed when I see. Oh dear. They even told us what the maintenance was for the most part. The only thing they didn't tell us was that Street Fighter was going to be released like then. The maintenance fixed wording on a lot of cards, and that's pretty much it. They just did some other like bug fixes and stuff like that. If they're going to announce a nerf, they'll do what they did last time, I reckon, and announce it as a huge announcement. They won't just surprise us with it. I want to clear out most of this, so we'll go this way.
Sky's my destination. It won't be long now. Now, jump into the wind. Yeah.
I'm gonna for the most part lose that anyway.
I'm all tuckered out.
Oh, there's nothing.
How interesting.
Can't remember what they had, but I'm pretty sure I could probably be dead anyway. And the Street Fighter stuff is way too expensive. I'm gonna do a video on it after I finish streaming here and probably upload that straight away. Such a dork for someone who could. That's true. That is very true. I'm gonna do a video on the Street Fighter stuff though soon. Just going over it, looking at them. I'm not gonna buy them, they're just too expensive. But I'll give my thoughts and opinions on them. You have to finish or return to matches if you disconnect rage quit. Yeah, I did read that actually. It also said that will only work within certain time limits. So if you don't join a game within a certain time, you won't be able to rejoin the game anyway. So if your internet gets cut out and you have more than like 30 odd seconds to probably get it back, it'll be great for mobile, especially for like the app closure issue they've had. Getting that fixed will be awesome. But that's not that big a deal. That should have been added months ago. It's been on their list of features they've been trying to add for literally since the game was released on Steam at least. So that's not really that impressive. It's something they needed to have added ages ago. But yeah, I did. I read all the news. The biggest thing was the card text changes making things more obvious, I guess. They didn't actually change the cards, which is good. They really need to fix their spectator mode and stuff like that. I lost it 2-5 because of it. Oh no. They've upped the master blanket to top 10,000 instead of top 1,000. Really? I didn't actually see that part.
This one's for my family.
That's actually really good.
Come on.
Hold on to that. Yeah, at least I got some ramp. I really should have fixed this deck, actually. Top 1,000 is the old top 100 rewards. That's actually pretty good. I suppose because there's so many players now that they want to open it to a lot wider audience. When they had less players, I suppose they weren't as concerned. But now they broke 8 million. They actually shouldn't be too far off 9 million if they continue at the same kind of ramp that they had. What's the bet that I get fucking catacombed here? Fucking broken that card is. Oh, if there's one card that I want nerfed, it'll be Catacomb for sure. And there's a 90% chance that will be the card that they hit, because they're not going to hit the legendaries, they're not going to hit the golds. Mostly they'll just target the silvers and bronze like they always do. I know the game's having a problem right now, yeah. Gales with player base. Yeah, percent would be better. It would definitely be a better way to do it. Okay, yep, Catacomb broken. It gives it too much aggro. It out-aggroes everything. Targeting itself makes no fucking difference. It's one body. It's the 3 other bodies that it gives everything else that's the problem. I think they need to change its stat line, change its cost, and change its effect so that it costs Necromancy and try and balance it for more of a mid to late game card instead of early. Game is in a fine spot. Yeah, the game isn't in the perfect spot for sure, but it's not much different to any other meta for any other game. It really isn't. There's always going to be something that's broken. There's always going to be something that's stronger than everything else. It's just a matter of how quickly they decide to fix and change things. But they've got to be extremely careful before the card hits the board. That is kind of weird, yeah. I can deal with this Shadow Reaper pretty easily, honestly.
Be gone.
Like Orthoros, yeah. Well, Orthoros actually, I don't know, because Orthoros states that it only gives it to other friendly minions, so it can't give it to itself anyway, so even if you played Orthoros on its own, it probably wouldn't matter. And Baha activates before it hits the board anyway. Well, actually, Baha states destroy all other followers, so even if it... Yeah, that actually is going to be very interesting. Board, enhanced, 10, that's kind of like a fair. Probably still win. Wallet Dragon really isn't that big a problem. The fact is that Shadow beats out everything that beats Wallet Dragon, so then Wallet Dragon has less matchups that can beat it, because the meta is controlled by Shadow. If you nerfed Shadow to a point where it become tier 2, you're probably going to see Sword and Blood become more popular to take its place, and both those decks do alright against Dragon overall. I think I'm dead anyway. Yay! Fuck this game.
There's no one else I'd rather lose to.
Fanfare, deal 2 damage to random minion follower and give +2 to a random allied follower. Okay, I thought it was random other random allied follower. My mistake. That's pretty easy to fuck up. It seems like nearly every other card is worded so that their fanfare effect doesn't affect themselves if that's how they wanted it to be. That is actually odd. I think maybe they should change it so Orthoros affects itself. That'd be interesting. And maybe just break Catacomb to a point where it only works in mid and late, which would probably mean it won't be played, but... League is way worse for their nerf system, honestly. We're going to change... Actually, we're just going to delete this. I'm going to start from scratch. I want to play Blood again. Blood actually works really well against Dragon. Don't ever want to say it again. Aww. You haven't missed much. We're just chilling out for now. Not even sure where to start with this, honestly. I'm thinking maybe taking in the Dragon Eggs and going that way about it. Obviously, you want all your standard ramp anyway. And your breaths. The one time I thought they were going to nerf some shit, but nope. Shadow was never that big a problem. Shadow always sat as kind of a tier 2 style deck at the most. It was never that bad. Well, at least from DE onwards, that is. Like, I can't speak pre-DE because I didn't really play much then. Well, at all, actually. Actually, I might not run the mini 4 days. Jeez. I don't want to run those actually at all. I don't know what to run. I want to build something interesting. The power of Reddit gave Grace his cigar back. Oh, nice. Did they also give Daria her boobs back because she needs those? Honestly, not really. I don't think they anticipated Catacomb being used the way it is. I want my deck for reference. Worth taking a look at. Let's see what you got. Odds are I'm missing half the cards, but we'll see. I just want something that's going to work for these missions. Yeah, so I'm missing the double Sybil in one Baha. That's the problem. I'm missing these, and these are important. I hate that. Like, Baha, not so bad, you know, I could replace it with something. Why run those when you can run these? I might have to tech in an extra fur because at least that then makes up for the ramp. Fuck's sake. They need a little better filtering system too, I think. Oh, if I triple hard, it'd be kind of inconsistent anyways, yeah. I can agree with that, true. I usually don't find it to be all like that amazing. Cheapest deck out there and it performs really well at high ranks. So obviously a lot of players playing Shadow. That's kind of true, and I really wouldn't call it the cheapest. Shadow, you're looking at somewhere around 40,000 vials. If you're looking at cheap ranges, you're normally going maximum of about 1,500. Not 1,500, 15,000, sorry, and Shadow being about 40,000. Aggro Shadow is, yes, a little cheaper, but most people are running mid Shadow because it's just far more effective. And even some other decks are running them as other things. Cheapest deck is Old School Blood, yeah. That owns most of my games, yeah. I don't know, I've always found 3 to be too inconsistent. That's the whole reason I only have 2 to begin with. Yeah, I guess mixing it with the Wyvern would work. Actually might be tempting to run a third one of those just to tech that in. But I can't help what I don't have. Might take a third one of those. Maybe a third Scyther because that's not really a bad card overall. It makes up for something else I'm missing. I just don't have the Sybils, which is really a pain. The clear Zedica, yeah. That's one way to do it. We'll give it a go. Anything's worth a shot. Eyes balanced, or at least until you face Shadow. Baja actually really isn't a bad card. Like, I think its 10 cost value is exactly where it needs to be. It's really, really important against Shadow. I know, I just only have 1 of it. I don't have any more of it. If I did, I would play like 3 of them easily. 20-30k max, assuming you build from scratch 3 Edeka, Cerberus, and Shadow Reaper, etc. It's actually, I had seen the builds, they're roughly 40k's at their maximum. 2 Soul Squasher, 3 Shadow Reaper, 3 Cerberus, 3 Edeka, at least. And I can't think of any other golds, honestly, off the top of my head. Some are actually even running 3 Soul Squasher because of how good that card is. So I need with the whole... I'm saying at least 50 to 100 range. I think I'll just hold that then. I'd have to find the builds that I saw most of them. And I'll say Soul Squasher is a very well balanced card. Yeah, I actually think Soul Squasher is really nicely done. I think Catacomb needed the same sort of treatment though. Make his cost, his effect be a Necromancy instead. And then try and just balance this Necromancy out. Ready for tempo is correct. Now it's bullshit. You gotta just play that then. Let's see if they Fairy Circle. Yeah, that probably would have been better. Getting the hang of stuff like this is a pain. I'm just not a dragon player. I mostly play Haven, Blood, and Sword, I guess. I also don't mind Rune, but there's so many different Rune variants that I tended to lean towards Daria, but now I'm not even that great with that deck. I think that may just be because the meta's the way it is. Not really going to help me to ramp, but... The healing, plus the damage to the 4-3. Plus the fact that it will slow down an H&L a little bit if they decide to play that. Blood my fave for sure. Yeah, I love Blood. My top 3, Blood, Rune, and Haven for sure. I was also seeing a lot of play. I don't know, Forest is hit or miss from what I've seen people play. It's not bad, but it's definitely hit or miss. Cavalier Baja? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, fuck. Alright, now that was my mistake. I actually misclicked that by a lot. Wow. That was terrible. I was meant to click on Baja and then I clicked Genesis by mistake. Little Roach fucks Vengeance Blood. Yeah, that's true. I think it's a hit or miss. It's highest skilled cap deck. Oh, I don't think it's that. It's just hit or miss in the fact that you've got to kind of bank up all your resources, and then most aggro decks like Shadow will just fucking dominate you in most situations. Wish I hadn't fucked that up, but it wouldn't have mattered because they fucking killed me anyway. And then the luck you need to pull the roaches properly, provided you're not running any 1-drops, which most roach decks that aren't wanting 1-drops can just be really slow. Math. I think for skills, I would say overall it is the most skill-based deck, but every deck requires some form of skill. I hate when people say a deck is brain dead because usually they only say it because it's a meta. If Roach was meta like it was with OTK, you know, outside of doing the math to work it out, it really wasn't that hard. Because the consistency with Goblin Mage, you literally just tried to curve Goblin Mage wherever you could. And then bank up your 0-drops so you could play Roach in combo. It was really that easy. Like any deck, aggro shows brain. Not really. It's like any aggro deck, you just curve out. I haven't seen any aggro deck that doesn't play in the style of curving out your drops so that you win. And that's not brain dead, that's called a strategy. Just because the strategy is simple and works doesn't make a deck automatically brain dead. OTK Blood? Yeah, I've been considering looking at that, but I'm missing some of the cards, which really sucks. Let's trade that Infant can do. Not really. Like, when you look at it, really not that bad. Just because the strategy is simple doesn't make it bad. The whole point of humans as a society was to make things easier on us. So a deck that can perform well and be handled easily, that's kind of the epitome of what humanity tries to do. Oh yeah, it's easy. That's the idea. You want the deck to be easy to play. What's the point on playing something more complex where you can make more misplayers and win, like, lose more games, compared to a deck where the plays are easier, you can easily curve out and win more games? That just makes no sense. Like, why would you play anything else? I don't really have anything to Cavalier off. That kind of sucks. Might just go full ramp and just draw. I was hoping to search maybe a Zeal or something out as well, but this should be fine. Not really. Just because a deck has a higher skill cap, though, doesn't automatically make it better. I think I just Baja the board, fuck it. We'll deal with that. A deck performs well based on what you're versing. Just like, I look at it as a triangle. Aggro tends to beat out control, control beats midrange, and midrange beats aggro. That is not the case all the time, but that is the most logical way that it's set up as rock, paper, scissors. There is no ideal meta. You can't have an ideal meta, because a meta is based on what deck is at the top. It's impossible to have an ideal meta, because not everyone is going to consider it perfect. The only way to have an ideal meta would be to make everything 50-50, and you can't really do that, because then the game just becomes literally who gets lucky enough to draw what they need to win.
Sky's my destination.
There is no ideal, which is what I said, but... Requires a higher skill cap is better, it's just a bit misjudged, yeah. That's what I agree with. Just because a deck requires more skill doesn't automatically make it better. It's just a different kind of playstyle, it's just a different kind of strategy. It's not so much requires more skill, it's just requires more effort to try and win.
May all life prosper and be blessed.
It just requires more thinking.
Be gone. Now, jump into the wind.
End up 9.
No regrets.
Yep, and that's what all card games are like. The idea of a card game is to try and make the most consistent deck you can. Might just play that.
My Tempest shall judge you.
This fate is unjust.
Some decks, like Forest, require more effort to make it more consistent and require more thinking. Whereas decks like aggro decks require less thinking to make them more consistent. They're just inherently easier to play. That doesn't make them bad. Yeah, but that doesn't automatically make aggro decks a problem. Aggro decks just allow more people to be able to play. An aggro deck that requires less effort doesn't mean isn't. I'm trying to word this properly now. I'm fucking up my wording. Basically, an aggro deck. If an aggro deck beats a forest deck, that doesn't make the player who beat you brain dead. That just means they had a better deck and more strategy because they bought a deck that they knew could probably win against a deck that you could easily misplay. Well, you basically said that aggro decks are brain dead, inherently meaning they are bad.
All must come to an end. Relying on you, dragon.
Bringing an aggro deck and playing an aggro deck is just another strategy. No different to playing another deck that requires more thinking, is just another strategy.
I've got to take a break.
I really don't like how this is set up. Easy set doesn't require skill. Well, that's where you're wrong. Skill isn't determined like that. Just because something is easy doesn't mean it doesn't require skill. Well, I agree with that. Why can't people just play what they like? Yeah, pretty much.
The sky's my destination.
And most people don't view brain dead in that kind of meaning at all. Why, yes, that would be the literal meaning. That's not how people take the term brain dead. What a terrible fucking setup for that. I'm probably gonna have to play Sybil on it. Both have different learning curves. Exactly. That's a great point right there. Joe makes great points. I like you, Joe. Fucking terrible play that has to be. I'm dead to any kind of damage. Every deck has a different skill cap, sure. That doesn't inherently make a deck worse or anything, which, like you said, obviously you're not trying to say they're worse, but the term brain dead in a lot of cases is used to determine that something is worse. Fucking dead to like 90% of the board here. No, see, I don't even view that way either. A brain dead deck, I just think brain dead's the wrong term to use at all. I think the way to look at it is some people will play a deck that may be easier to curve out, easier to play, something that's more consistent at winning. That doesn't mean the deck's bad, that just means they bought a deck that they had more chance with. Compared to a deck that requires more effort to actually try and win, which means you have more chance to misplay, you have more chance to make a mistake. Why bring a deck that some people, like, why consider a deck more skillful just because it's harder to play? That's kind of the point I'm trying to say. Each deck requires a different kind of skill, more so than more skill. Aggro decks require you to play in a completely different way than you'd play a control deck. It's not fair to overall compare them. That was really bad. It's an autopilot. Well, that's not true either, though, because you still got to play it. This is the problem. People are trying to assign stupid words to things when they're very different situations. Does Aggro Shadow use a simple strategy? Yes. Does that make Aggro Shadow bad? No. Does it make it autopilot? No, because you still have to think about the turns. Does it make it brain dead? Not really, because you still have to do it. You still got to make the strategy. People who come up with Aggro Shadow still had to fucking come up with a way to build it and play it. Just because that way is easier compared to something else doesn't have any bearing on anything else. That's all. Looking at a deck and saying, oh, that deck's easy, thus it's like easy to win with, thus anything else is just a really poor way to look at it. Sure, you can look at a card and go, yes, that is making this deck too strong and needs fixing. I have nothing against that. Same way I looked at Roach. OTK Roach, you know, clearly needed fixing because it was too strong. Something might be good for you and bad for others. Yeah, that's pretty true. Good and bad is extremely relative. Situational. Here's the storm trying to find. Alright. It is two different things. This is the problem. Roach requires a different skill than any aggro deck. That doesn't inherently make anyone playing a deck that requires a different kind of skill anything else. It's really hard to say now because you're basically trying to come across as saying that people who play those decks are worse players when that's not the case. That's just how it seems to be coming across, and that's why it's hard for me to try and make a point here. I never said Aggro Shadow wasn't a problem. It's not that it's good or bad. The stats just show that the deck is broken and needs fixing. That doesn't mean that it being an aggro deck is the problem, or that it's easy to play is the problem. It just means it's too powerful. Decks have different favorable matchups, for instance, yeah. Haven is good against Shadow, or Dragon's against, yeah. The Shift is good against Haven, pretty much. It just happens at the moment that Shadow has the most favorable matchups.
Beautiful, powerful, and cute to boot. You're done for. I'll blow you away. Come on, let's play.
Be gone.
I barely think when I used to play OTK Roach. That doesn't change the fact that they're different kinds of decks. I did quite well with OTK Roach when that was top tier deck. The problem is that everyone's different.
Sparkly stuff.
Some people might find an aggro deck harder to play than a control deck just based on what kind of playstyle it is. Everyone excels at different kinds of playstyles.
Bluest water.
Like, I'm shocking when it comes to playing mid-range. Like, shocking. But aggro and control I don't seem to have much trouble with. I play worse on stream when I'm trying to think about other things, but... I look at it the same way as a lot of people who are terrible at math. It's usually not because they're bad. Like, it's not because they are inherently not trying, it's because they're just not wired that way. It's the same sort of thing for a lot of these decks. Some people can just inherently play better at certain kind of decks and have a lot easier time and use less processing power in your brain to do it. Then that comes down to neurology.
All must come to an end.
Which can be trained and fixed, and there's a lot you can do. You can play Genesis and just go face.
What's that for?
Yeah, because I found it easy. It's a personal thing. That's what I've kind of been trying to get across, I guess, from the beginning. A deck you find easy, other people might find hard. A deck that you find hard, other people might find easy. It's all subjective.
Sparkly stuff. Gimme.
Just because the majority find aggro shadow easier doesn't make it any less of a deck or any less skillful. Just because something is easier doesn't mean it requires less skill. Thinking about your matchups, trying to work out your opponents, making sure you're playing the right cards for what cards are on board, trying to predict what's in your opponent's hand, that all goes into part of the skill of playing a deck. Oh, I've definitely met people who have a lot of trouble with aggro decks to the point where they either curve out too hard and don't think about what their opponent's going to play, they don't consider the possibility that they might need this card later. There's definitely people out there that are like that.
What's that for?
It's not obviously the majority. I would say it's not 99% though. I would say it's somewhere in the 80% range.
Let's play.
A good example would be natural talent too. Some people require no skill to do something they might require someone else to put 100% effort into. And a lot of the time it can just be genetic, it can just be the way you are. And that applies similarly to the way decks function. Like, I found OTK Roach to be no harder than playing most aggro decks. Just because of the way it is. That doesn't change the fact that different decks have different kinds of skill. Doesn't make one any like more skillful, it just means they're different.
Sky's my destination.
Oh,
You're an intruder. This ends here.
looking at it the same way, there's probably only 1% of people who could play any other deck the same kind of way. On average, it's really more balanced in that regard.
Stop.
Blew you away.
I don't see this conversation really going anywhere from now anyway. You just drop the biggest things. Yeah, well, that's what I did in the end. There we go, that's game.
Whoa, you're strong.
I only did what I had to.
What do we got left here? 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to... I don't fucking make any of them. That's kind of depressing. That's an example. Tournament's completely different to rank though, so don't try to compare those because that's a whole separate argument. When you're looking at a tournament scene, you're taking mostly more professional players, players that have more planning, especially when you consider the top, say, 32 players in most tournaments. Across all brackets, yeah. I never said Shadow wasn't a problem. Shadow needs to be fixed. I'm just saying that it doesn't require any more skill than what any other deck does. Skill is subjective. Pure and simple. What might require skill for you might not require skill for someone else. And vice versa. Oh, their bracket system's fucking shocking for tournaments. It's very, very poorly done. And the way they collate information for a lot of things is a huge problem to me. Fucking... too many aggressive things. I don't have a big enough hand to deal with it. 36%, yeah. That really doesn't mean much. That comes down to someone having... personally being able to play something better than someone else. That's nothing else. Like... I don't really see much point there. Because one person can play a deck better than someone else. This one person has better skill than someone else. Sure, it doesn't mean the deck inherently is.
Strength and beauty together. You're done for.
Loyalty is ironclad.
Plus, does that take into account how many people are bringing the deck? That's another really big problem I have with those statistics. You want a sample size that is almost identical to be able to compare. Otherwise, the data will be too skewed.
Weapon at the ready, youngling.
Because in that way, if less people are bringing Forest, then the data is going to be very skewed. If more people are bringing Shadow, your data is going to be more accurate. Because you have a larger sample size. Yeah, I should have played Rehab. Now I've got to try and work around it, which sucks, but I think I'll manage. Well, not really. It just means that they inherently find it easier. For me, math takes hardly any skill, for example. And it always has. It's been that way for as long as I can remember. That didn't mean anything except that I'm wired to handle math a lot better than other people. That doesn't inherently make me more skilled at math. That just means that I inherently am better at math. My main point is that skill is extremely subjective and comes down to an individual, more than anything else.
I should have foreseen this.
That's all.
I only did what I had to.
Practice can increase your consistency. Not so much making you more skilled, it's making you more comfortable. At least when we're talking about decks, skill in general as a definition is very, very fucking tunnel visioned, which is a problem with most of the English language.
I guess you're
That's how you're saying stats say otherwise, but the stats are subjective. You're making no sense there. Terrible. You know how statistics work? That's really not how that works at all. If you're looking at skill as a pure definition, sure. But if you're looking at it as a general term, probably not. Texas letter. It's not so much that the stats are subjective. That was miswording on my part, honestly. It's more that what statistics are you looking at? How are the statistics gathered? What statistics have you got overall? Meaning sample sizes. So if 5 people bring a forest deck and 3 of those people win and 2 lost, your ratios are very different to a deck that 100 people bring and has a higher average.
done for. A revelation.
As I said, the definition of skill is very tunneled. It's literally just expertise and that's it.
My time has come.
It's really not worth arguing about at all. Kind of pointless, actually. All the other statistics, yeah, that's it. I haven't seen any Shadowverse statistics that were not gathered in a poor way. That's the biggest problem I see. The only way to gather statistics is to have your own personal set. For example, I've played hundreds of games with one Haven deck, and statistically versing Shadow and Dragon, it has about a 55 to 60% win rate. Compared to gathering a bunch of random players together who range from skill levels that are way too vast, so you could have the majority being pro players or the majority being really terrible players, which will skew the results in one of 2 ways. That's why I don't like the way that they're gathering the statistics.
My Tempest shall judge you.
No! No!
In some cases I do, it's just because of what I'm used to playing as a playstyle. So I'm not comfortable with this deck yet.
Ow!
I'm just a mage who's as old as dirt.
It won't be long now.
It's just like back in the old days.
You're right, but I was nearly expecting a Dario deck, honestly. I was expecting something turn 5, turn 6, which didn't end up happening, so that's fine. Plus, I was thinking about other stuff, so I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. I was just playing from memory. So if I focus on the game more, then I tend to ignore the chat. If I focus on the chat more, I tend to ignore the game more. Yeah, that's fine.
Here comes some real magic.
Atone with your lifeblood.
You'd be surprised, Trail of Light isn't just played in these decks though. I've seen Trail of Light played in everything from PDP right through Daria. It seems to be a go-to card lately. I did get completely fucked there, so I really should have played the Bahamut a lot earlier when I had the chance. Still need a couple of games. Oh dear. Yeah, that's definitely true. RNG is basically every card game in existence. RNG will outdo skill almost every time.
This one's for my family.
Time for me to prove myself.
Dragon Oracle and Breath of Salamander. Going to Genesis. Every card game is RNG. No matter what you do. Anything with a draw mechanic instantly becomes RNG based. And then basically the players just come down to having to try and build a deck that's more consistent. Which then comes down to your deck building. Cards from all three classes. Oh, that was a really stupid thing. I didn't like that at all. Pray to RNGesus, yep. Should always be praying to RNGesus. We'll have to wrap things up soon. I have to work on some other videos for the next couple days. Ugh. Has RNG and RNG. Yeah, they are terrible for it, honestly. They have the worst RNG system. Alright, that's actually pretty good.
May I ask your name?
You're done for.
My sword and spells can handle this.
You're finished. Just keep relying on you.
Probably should have just played Cavalier, honestly. That was probably a bad play. I really wasn't thinking about that at all.
Cute to boot.
Oh dear.
It won't be long now.
Terrible idea.
I'll blow you away. Sorry, I've got to take a break.
Genesis on 8 and hope they don't have a removal. Yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have played Genesis, honestly. I already know that was a mistake.
Ooh, sparkly stuff. Gimme.
And I honestly don't think doing that now actually makes any difference, does it? Probably try and draw into something else. Yeah, maybe Cavalier, dropped into Cavalier.
Be gone.
Forest is also... Yeah, I know. I fucked up. I already know that. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on.
Okay.
Ugh. Actually, I need to fix something on YouTube anyway. When you try to multitask, yeah. If I don't focus on this one thing, I make a lot of misplays. That does happen quite often. Doesn't matter what deck I'm playing, I end up with the same problem.
What's that for?
Not skilled in multitasking. I wouldn't look at it that way. Just putting more focus into everything else.
Get this show on the road.
And now I've started that up by accident. Let's see if they got anything. I doubt they do at this rate. Okay, so they had to waste pretty much everything.
This ends here. Fairies, don't push yourselves too hard.
I return.
Ah. I had enough trouble removing my last sort of stuff, so hopefully I'll have the same sort of trouble removing this. Run 3 roaches into it. Yeah.
You're an intruder. You're
Nah, that's not too hard to deal with, luckily.
Get out of my sight. Bluest water.
I had enough trouble getting rid of that stuff the first time. So unless they got enough roach combo to deal 20 damage, should be okay. Alright, let's see what this guy's got then. Got anything left?
Hey, let's play. Hey, let's play.
Come on, this guy's gotta play something. Let's see. If he worked out if he had enough. Probably not, by the way he's played that. Grimnir makes no difference. Using double salamander doesn't really help.
Color yourself.
Either way, I guess that would have gave me game, but I was hoping for something that would have just gave it to me easily without having to worry, but
I only did what I had.
that's one way to do it, I guess. Alright. I think we'll wrap things up. So thanks you guys for coming. I'm gonna work on some videos, so hopefully you guys will like them. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.